more come to life again. "But," said he, "thou hast been hurt by the dwarf's arrow." She laughed, and said, "Had I never had greater hurt from them than that, little had been the tale thereof. Yet whereas thou lookest dolorous about it, we will speedily heal it." Therewith she sought about, and found nigh the stream side certain herbs, and she spake words over them, and bade Walter lay them on the wound, which forsooth was of the least; and he did so, and bound a strip of his shirt about her arm, and then would she set forth. But he said: "Thou art all unshod, and, but if that be seen to, our journey shall be stayed by thy footsoreness. I may make a shift to fashion thee brogues." She said: "I may well go barefoot, and in any case I entreat thee that we tarry here no longer, but go away hence, if it be but for a mile." And she looked piteously on him, so that he might not gainsay her. So then they crossed the stream, and set forward, when amidst all these haps the day was worn to mid-morning. But after they had gone a mile, they sat them down on a knoll under the shadow of a big thorn tree, within sight of the mountains. Then said Walter: "Now will I cut thee the brogues from the skirt of my buff coat, which shall be well meet for such work, and meanwhile shalt thou tell me thy tale." "Thou art kind," she said, "but be kinder yet, and abide my tale till we have done our day's work. For we were best to make no long delay here, because, though thou hast slain the king dwarf, yet there be others of his kindred who swarm in some parts of the wood as the rabbits in a warren. Now true it is that they have but little understanding, less it may be than the very brute beasts, and that, as I said afore, unless they be set on our slot like to hounds, they shall have no inkling of where to seek us. Yet might they happen upon us by mere misadventure. And moreover, friend," quoth she, blushing, "I would beg of thee some little respite, for though I scarce fear thy wrath any more, since thou hast been so kind to me, yet is there shame in that which I have to tell thee. Wherefore, since the fairest of the day is before us, let us use it all we may, and, when thou hast done me my new foot gear, get us gone forward again." He kissed her kindly, and yea said her asking, he had already fallen to work on the leather, and in a while had fashioned her the brogues; so she tied them to her feet, and arose with a smile, and said: "Now am I hale and strong again, what with the rest, and what with thy loving kindness, and thou shalt see how nimble I shall be to leave this land, for as fair as it is. Since forsooth a land of lies it is, and of grief to the children of Adam." So they went their ways thence, and fared nimbly indeed, and made no stay till some 3 hours after noon, when they rested by a thicket side, where the strawberries grew plenty. They ate thereof what they would, and from a great oak hard by Walter shot him first one culver, and then another, and hung them to his girdle to be for their evening's meal. So thence they went forward again, and nought befell them to tell of, till they were come, whenas it lacked scarce an hour of sunset, to the banks of another river, not right great, but bigger than the last one. There the Maid cast herself down, and said: "Friend, no further will thy friend go this even; nay, to say sooth, she cannot. So now we will eat of thy venison, and then shall my tale be, since I may no longer delay it, and thereafter shall our slumber be sweet and safe as I deem." She spake merrily now, and as one who feared nothing, and Walter was much heartened by her words and her voice, and he fell to and made a fire and a woodland oven in the earth, and sithence dighted his fowl, and baked them after the manner of woodmen. And they ate, both of them, in all love and in good liking of life, and were much strengthened by their supper. And when they were done, Walter eked his fire, both against the chill of the midnight and dawning, and for a guard against wild beasts. And by that time night was come, and the moon arisen. Then the maiden drew up to the fire, and turned to Walter, and spake. Chapter 24. The Maid tells of what had befallen her. Now, friend, by the clear of the moon and this firelight will I tell what I may and can of my tale. Thus it is, if I be wholly of the race of Adam, I wot not, nor can I tell thee how many years old I may be. For there are, as it were, shards or gaps in my life, wherein are but a few things dimly remembered, and doubtless many things forgotten. I remember well when I was a little child, and right happy, and there were people about me whom I loved, and who loved me. It was not in this land, but all things were lovely there, the year's beginning, the happy mid-year, the year's waning, the year's ending, and then again its beginning. That passed away, and then for a while is more than dimness, for naught I remember, save that I was. Thereafter I remember again, and am a young maiden, and I know some things, and long to know more. I am nowise happy. I am amongst people who bid me go, and I go, and do this, and I do it. None loveth me, none tormenteth me, but I wear my heart in longing for I scarce know what. Neither then am I in this land, but in a land that I love not, and a house that is big and stately, but nought lovely. Then is a dim time again, and sithence a time not right clear, an evil time, wherein I am older, well nigh grown to womanhood. There are a many folk about me, and they foul, and greedy, and hard, and my spirit is fierce, and my body feeble, and I am set to tasks that I would not do by them that are unwiser than I, and smitten I am by them that are less valiant than I, and I know lack, and stripes, and diverse misery. But all that is now become but a dim picture to me, save that amongst all these unfriends is a friend to me, an old woman, who telleth me sweet tales of other life, wherein all is high and goodly, or at the least valiant and doughty. And she setteth hope in my heart, and learneth me, and maketh me to know much, oh much, so that at last I am grown wise, and wise to be mighty if I durst. Yet am I nought in this land all this while, but, as meseemeth, in a great and foul city. And then, as it were, I fall asleep, and in my sleep is nought, save here and there a wild dream, some deal lovely, some deal hideous, but of this dream is my mistress a part, and the monster withal, whose head thou didst cleave to-day. But when I am awakened from it, then am I verily in this land, and myself as thou seest me to-day. And the first part of my life here is this, that I am in the pillared hall yonder, half clad, and with bound hands, and the dwarf leadeth me to the lady, and I hear his horrible croak, as he saith, Lady, will this one do? And then the sweet voice of the lady saying, This one will do, thou shalt have thy reward. Now, set thou the token upon her. Then I remember the dwarf dragging me away, and my heart sinking for fear of him, but for that time he did me no more harm than the riveting upon my leg this iron ring, which here thou seest. So from that time forward I have lived in this land, and been the thrall of the lady. And I remember my life here day by day, and no part of it has fallen into the dimness of dreams.